Hey, this is John, and today we're going to talk about how to be positive. And I like to say how to be positive in a world that's becoming more negative as we look at the things that kind of program us to become that negativity. So if you look at how your life goes, you get up in the morning, you go to work, and you hang around people that really don't even like their job. So that right there is a starter to them being negative, and you start seeing that, and it does affect you whether you like it or not. And then you go to break, and what do they have on in the break room? They have the TV on. They have the TV on to the news of all things, and they have a negative spin on things, and they have ways to just program you to become negative. And think about it. When you were born, you came out and you were immediately spanked. I mean, that's a rude awakening to life, isn't it? So then when you become a kid, your parents will tell you, oh, don't cross the street. Wait, you have to look twice. Look twice both directions. And then other things that you might want to consider is, you don't want to talk to strangers because what could happen? That's a negative thinking, and it's really meant to protect you as a kid. That's what parents are supposed to do, right? And so they do this unknowingly. They tell you as a child to do things in a negative fashion. So you're getting programmed. You're getting programmed to do things negative. Then there's, so we've talked about a street thing, and then there's the stove. Oh no. If you have gas stove, you can see a flame that's going, and you can always say that's hot. But if you've got the electric stoves that don't really have a burner that get hot, and the kids can't see that, it's just the glass top, right? Kids don't see that. And so your parents are going to say, don't touch that, right? That's hot. And it doesn't matter when you touch it, it's always hot in their case because you don't want them to touch it at all, right? I actually had my brother, my youngest brother, he actually did touch the stove, and oh my gosh, that hand that he touched, okay, so if you have this hand, he had a blister that went from the bottom of his hand all the way up here, and it was cupped, and it's kind of hard to show you on here, but it was cupped like that, and he had to wrap it around with gauze and not pop it, because that could be major infection if it pops. So the stove is always a bad thing, and sometimes it happens, and unfortunately it happened to my brother. So we as humans, we're not perfect. We strive to be, and we claim that we are sometimes when we're haughty about it. But the other ways that people will program you, and I guess you're just taught to be a certain way as you live in your life. And I'm thinking, going through life, we've got the childhood and we move into school, right? So where's the next influence? Teachers, and my wife is a former teacher. She would tell you there's nothing wrong with a little installation of fear. So there's always the negative spin. You've got government trying to control you. You've got, depending on the police officer, they would give you some fear, like, oh, I'm going to do this to you, or I'm going to do that to you, and maybe you're making it up in your head because that's how you've been taught. No, this is not an excuse, but it's reality. It's real life, isn't it? So it really does take some time to get yourself set up to think positive, and there are ways to do that. And the other thing that really hits my example stuff is if you're driving along and someone comes up past you and just cuts you off, what is the first reaction that you have? You tell them to go take a hike, you scream at them, you do anything but ignore and mind your own business, right? So here's something I always used to do, and I don't do it as much anymore. I just I don't put any attention onto what they did. But I used to go, bravo, bravo. I wasn't getting mad, was I? And I kind of turned the tables back on them to say, hey, you did something that wasn't very good, and I'm not going to get upset at you. So I'll applaud you for doing what you did. It's kind of a reverse psychology in my train of thought. So in your attempt to become more positive in this negative world, you want to start doing things and reprogramming yourself, reprogramming your mind to think positive in a split second. Instead of going to that negative, arg, you suck, or whatever it is, you want to train your mind to default to the positive. And when I mean default, Just like that. You don't have to think about what to do next that is positive, because it's already going to come out of your mouth. It's already come out of your heart. You know, Jesus said in the Bible, what comes out of your heart is what you're going to get, because the heart is actually more powerful and more correct than your mind. Think about that. So we have lots of emotions. They are very positive and they are also very negative. But you have to learn how to train your thoughts so that they are positive. So you can do this by reading books. You can do this by hanging around other people who are positive and have like-minded goals. You know, there's a stat that says you are the average of the 5 people you most hang out with in every realm of your life. And I've heard this more often said about finances. I imagine it also includes your mindset as well. So other things you can do besides hanging around positive people, you can listen to audios, you can listen to YouTube videos such as this one, because people are going out there listening to audios and reading books, and then they're turning around and doing videos just for you, because people love to consume video, don't they? They would rather watch somebody give a presentation than listen. And you know, if you go back to the 30s and the 40s of our time, previous century, that's all they had was a radio. They would get together as a family. They would listen to the radio in the family room. They would listen to the radio in a setting that is all family, where we really don't know anything other than we go to the family room or the entertainment room to watch TV. And not just watch TV, you have speakers all around. You've got surround sound. So make sure that you go through and you watch your reactions. That was the last thing, is watch your reactions to how you react to things in your life, how you respond to things that are in your life. If your life is negative, cut that off. Cut your negativity off and say, hey, that's the end of the road. We're at the end of the road with negativity, and now we're gonna be accepting positive outcomes, and that is what you want. Your attitude is the only thing you have 100% control over. Your emotions and your attitude are kind of the same thing, but you can do whatever you want to do, and whatever you believe you can do it. So if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. So just to recap on how to stay positive in a negative world: read books, hang around positive people, and 3, listen to video and audio, and be aware of your reactions and your responses to situations during the day, and correct them, change them, think them through in your mind, how to be better at responding and react. This has been John McCaw with your How to Be More Positive in a Negative World. Please subscribe at the top right hand side of the screen. I believe it's right there. If I'm wrong, there, I don't know. Click the little bell, you'll know when I upload new videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at in the world. Talk to you soon.